Hi, welcome to Crypto Ramble. I'm Desiree. Apparently, there is a Bitcoin retirement calculator. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I heard of it and I'm going to look at it now. And maybe you haven't heard of it and you can use it in order to calculate, I guess, how long it should take for when you should start getting out of crypto. I guess at different points, you could do it based on time or you could do it based on dollar amount. So like every month you would take out a certain amount of your holdings, or when the price reaches certain specified amounts, you'll take money out. So I know that those are ways of planning when to take out from your investments, but then keep the rest of it going for the future. So before I look at it, I just want to say that this brings up the whole store of value thing and whether or not crypto should actually be used just as a transactional currency or as a way for people to invest in the future. It was really just meant to be used as money, but there are economics behind it that make the price go up as a network grows. And also that's part of the proof of work and proof of stake and other consensus mechanisms. Those are things that they keep in mind, how to keep people interested in securing the network and also holding their funds in there to keep the chain going over time. So I don't know, that's just a question that I have. I did an interview recently with someone and they were saying that the store of value is important for cryptocurrency, but that's not really what crypto is really supposed to be about. It's about whether or not it's a currency, and you're hoping that there isn't a lot of inflation so that your money isn't devalued, but not necessarily that your money will grow over time. So a lot of people now are looking at something like a retirement calculator because they're hoping that their money will grow over time, but that's not what crypto initially was about. So I'm not saying that's wrong or anything. I'm interested in that as well. However, it's just something to think about. So let me go find this Bitcoin retirement calculator. So actually there are many versions of it, but the one specific one that I'm talking about is called the Bitcoin Savings Plan. It's at this link jlopp.github.io/Bitcoin-savings-plan and another /. So it looks like this. It's called the Bitcoin Savings Plan, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Volatility, or When Should I Sell My Bitcoins? And it says inspired by Rupiah Tila's SSS, a sane and simple Bitcoin savings plan on Bitcoin Talk, originally coded by D9000. I want to give credits. I don't know who JLOP is. I feel like there's someone on Twitter named JLOP. Oh well. And you can put in your initial investment. I'm going to put my numbers in, but I won't tell you what it is. So with the initial investment amount and the initial exchange rate amount, that gives you the dollar amount of how many BTC you have in your specified currency. Technically, you can use this savings plan for any currency or any coin, even though it says BTC, because you would just put how much one coin costs. So for an altcoin that's like $6, you just put 6 instead of the price of BTC. And the rake amount is the percentage of your investment that you would take away every time you sell some. And the number of cycles is just how long you want this savings plan, how many times you want the selling event to happen. And then the cycle multiplier is at what point has your investment amount grown at which you'd sell the rake percentage. So if you put your cycle multiplier as 1.05, for example, and your rake amount at 5%, then you would sell 5%, which is the rake amount, when your initial investment has grown to 105%. So you could also have a cycle multiplier as 1.20, and then you would sell 5%, the rake amount, at 120% when your investment has grown by 120%. And so if you think about this in the future as a long-term thing, then even though you're taking out like 5%, you're raking 5% every time it grows 120%, that means that you're taking out a larger amount with a bigger investment. Let me use actual numbers. Okay, I have to actually calculate this. You would have 95% of 120 left. That's $114. And so when that 114 grows by 20%, so you'd have 120% of 114 is $136. Then you take 5% away from that, which would be times 0.95, $129. And then with $129 would grow 20%, and that would continue. So you could technically do this indefinitely if you set your rake amount low enough and your cycle multiplier, I guess, high enough. And you can see it. This is not time-based, it's price-based. So you could decide how many cycles you want to go through. Let me try and put those numbers in. So say I had 50 BTC and I came in at 10,000 for 1 BTC. And my rake is 5% and my cycle multiplier is 1.2. Then if we're looking at the numbers, you're not down 5 times 10, which would be 50% BTC over time, but you're down 100 minus 76. I don't know what that is. That's 24% over time. Even though the rake percentage is the same over time, you're taking away less because the principal investment amount is growing larger to a certain percent, 120%, every selling event. The cycle multiplier is a price increase needed for each selling event to occur. That was kind of hard to explain. Okay, I'm trying to sort of explain this, and I hope that made sense. But this is something that you can use. And I was just thinking that for any proof of stake coin, for example, say Particle, this savings plan does not factor in staking. So actually, it might not work for every single currency, but if you set your rake percentage lower than the staking percentage over time, then that would be really good for a proof of stake coin. So I'm not a finance person, and this is not investment advice also, but I'm just saying that this is not investment advice. It's not. It's just a savings plan, retirement thing that I found online and that you can use if you want, and there are many of them out there. And I hope what I said made sense. And keep in mind what I said earlier about, is it a store of value or is it about better money, decentralized money? I personally have my own plan, and I don't think I'm going to use this because I like my plan better. But this might be useful to you, and there are tons of other ones out there. I didn't know this, so I guess maybe you've seen all of this before, but I've never seen a Bitcoin retirement calculator. I've seen other, like compound interest sort of stuff, but not this, and that might be useful to you. And yeah, people are using Bitcoin as a store of value, and that's just a side effect of the blockchain and how it works in terms of the incentives and price going up over time. And that's great, but I hope that people also focus on scaling and adoption, because those things are really important, and those are the things that I mentioned in my What Do I Wish for 2019, and that's probably what I would wish for every single year, is scaling and adoption, because that's what made things hitch in the past. All right, so take a look at this Bitcoin savings plan. Maybe you never heard of it before. Thanks for watching my content. If you like it, subscribe.